You know, I've noticed some things I want to put out there about spirituality. Spirituality is not for like becoming rich. Being rich is a part of the human social system. You know what I'm saying? And like that's not reality. That's just humans surviving. It's like monkeys surviving with monkeys. They have their own. Their monkeys hang with monkeys. It's obvious, right? And so they create their own social system. But that has nothing to do with like the actual world that they live in, like here on planet Earth, you know, and everything else that's going on. And so, because we're humans and we're intelligent, and we like to use that intelligence to take up space to create our social network in the physical world. You know what I'm saying? Kind of like clearing up space for a house or clearing up space. You know what I'm saying for like basketball or something like that. Just space in general. It's like we think that this whole world revolves around humans, but in reality, it doesn't. It's just nature, really, for the most part, you know. And we get lost in that sometimes. But anyways, to bring back to what I was saying before, so when you're dealing with this God, a dollar broth, and you deal with, this creator God over the planet, and they say that we are the sons and daughters of Gaia or the Great Mother that created that came from the spirit realm. She's the god of the spirit realm, and then it's the fourth dimension, and so we're in the third dimension. So it's the demiurge of that, and that's what this created God or God the Father really is. And so it's like we come from the fourth dimension, and we're trapped here. And so we're on a prison planet, and so I can see why when it comes to spirituality, I've noticed that it's when you're the happiest, spirituality doesn't come into play. Especially for me as a psychic, like I said before, it's like I don't get any spiritual downloads. I don't I don't see the future. I don't, know things. I don't feel sensations, nothing. I mean, no type of spiritual powers don't really work as much when I'm like extremely happy or like my life is going well, you know? And so it's hard for me to see like downfalls. It's hard for me to see in the sense of like, okay, like let's say you try to go out there and you date somebody, right? And you try to put your best foot forward. It's like it doesn't work out, right? Because of the fact that you're trying to like be happy, you know? It's like if you try to like you're trying to lose weight, right? It's like you're really trying to lose weight, you know? That's when the spiritual powers, depending on the situation, I'm talking about like, for example, for me, it was like me being quirky, me just being more animated, being more jolly and happy. At my job, just invited so many demons and so many evil people into my life that want to cipher off that energy, and it made me realize that, you know, it's like that's when I didn't have any spiritual protection, you know, and that's why I didn't have any spiritual protection. But then I realized, like, it's only when I became homeless and, I you know, I know back to my mom's, my abusive family, you know, my manipulative, narcissistic, toxic family, you know, it's when I'm in the world and the world looks at me at a negative light, like a bum or a drug addict. That's when, or they want to take advantage of me just because based on my positioning, because I'm homeless. They want to take advantage of me. They want to spit at me or whatever. That's when it's like, okay, yeah, it's like I think about it like this. Just my example, like being black in a segregated town or something like that. It's like you're in a segregated town. They don't like black people. Like so that's when your spiritual powers work because okay, not to go to this place because they're gonna do the white pies only shit, and you're gonna get shot. You know what I'm saying? So your spiritual powers tell you like, don't do that shit, right? That's how my powers work. It's like they're like, oh no, fuck this person, because they're going to completely shit all over you. But like when you have the right by human social laws, you know, to be somewhere or do something, that's when it don't work. When you actually have, let's say I go somewhere and have the money to pay, and it's not segregated, but they just a little racy. They're kind of like, okay, we don't really like black people. Like that's a Raven episode. Like I don't really hire black people. It's like that type of shit. It's like what? That's my powers just don't work for the most part. And so I have to like go talk to other psychics and shit because I'm like in a really happy state. Like I'm doing good. Like I have the money and I'm going to get my hair done or whatever. And the person that took my hair doesn't like me for no apparent reason. Like I'm a nice person. Does it? You get what I'm saying? But they have to serve me because they can't discriminate by law against somebody for their race or sexual orientation. You get what I'm saying? And so that's what I'm saying. It's not like that when I like have a right to be somewhere, a social right to be somewhere. Like as a society or a social group or whatever, we've come to the terms that okay, he's supposed to be here. He can come here. But at the same time, like, you already have their prejudice. They're like, oh, he's big, he's black. We don't really know, if we can trust him. Is he a thug? Did he go to jail? Like those are the things, and it's like it has nothing to do with reality. It's just there. So I don't really like get the energy from that because that doesn't do with nothing. It's like speculations. Because at the end of it, if I ask my spirit guides things like this, like can I trust this person and all that type of shit, they'll let me know because it's like I have a real, I put my intuition with facts. I mix those together. These people don't do that. They literally just be kind of like wanting me to do it. It's like status quo things. Like, oh, okay, he's white. He probably does this and that, instead of being like thinking in their mind, like looking at what the person actually does and say, okay, he has the Dragon Ball Z t-shirts and One Piece t-shirts. Maybe he likes anime, and then it asks the spirits, like, does he like anime? Then I get confirmations. It's like, that's how that shit works. You don't just like, you know, just see somebody and be like on some prejudice, you know, like, oh, he has glasses, he must be intelligent. Like that doesn't even make sense. The reason why people have glasses is because their eyes are messed up. That has nothing to do with them studying. I don't get the difference. That's just why people are so stupid. But you know, um, yeah. So I realized spirituality just has everything to do with hurt, negativity, hurt, pain, suffering. That's the only time you don't get it. Like I said in the movie Hellraiser, Jesus wept, and that's when he got the black box, which is Saturn, which is going to the fourth dimension, which is connected to the spirit realm. So it's kind of crazy, you know. It's kind of crazy, and I think that's the reason why. Because there's really two spirit realms. There's the fourth dimension and the second dimension, on the aspect of a lesser dimension than this. So I think that's why a lot of people are like stupid, very linear, you know, right angles, you know, that they think like there's no like intuitiveness. It's just like, oh, that's what's supposed to be. This is what it's supposed to be, you know. But yeah, I just want to put that out there. I think that when it comes to spirituality, like it comes with pain and suffering. And so when you're reading these, watching these Torah card readings, you're praying and whatnot. You're not like when you pray to God to keep your like job, to help you get a job or something like that. Like it's not gonna be good. You can't pray to God or the gods or anybody for glory. You can't. All you can pray for is survival. Because in reality of nature, that's what that is. And in reality of life, that's really all it is, surviving. You get what I'm saying? But in the social network, the social network of people, it's like we created this hierarchy thing where people, because of basically, in other words, slavery, owning people, that mentality trickles down to the very last drop of people, you know, which is slaves. But in reality, we're all fucking slaves on that aspect. So it's like, that's why it's like you can't pray to like be at a higher position in a slave system. Because it's like, that's not how it's supposed to go. We're all supposed to be like a family working together as equals, you know, but we don't, you know, because nobody really care about any other people like that. They just want to survive. So of course they want to survive better than the other person in a social network. You get what I'm saying? But the real problem is they don't have the right to do that. So you have to agree almost to your own slavery. But that's how we keep the peace, is by agreeing to our own slavery. So that's why it's like, how are you supposed to sit here and pray, you know what I'm saying, to a God to help you get out of a situation? But that's just because of your situation. That's what's sustaining you. It's not going to give it to you, you know? And that's what I've noticed about spirituality. Like, I listened to Torah card reading for years and all this type of shit. And it's like, it's never really like got me anywhere. I've been high. I've been all right. I ain't gonna lie. But I've never been like good, you know? Where it's like, yeah, you know, you got everything you need. You know, a car, a nice apartment. You get what I'm saying? Good friends. You know, you're able to be who you want to be without prejudice. Like, you know, it's like quirky. Like, as a big black guy, I could be like happy-go-lucky. I could be fucking animated and positive and just, you know, just be happy in general. Just be a happy person. Be positive. Be also, you know, be stern but fair. You know, things like this. Like, it's like you don't get a chance to do that shit. You know, because of the fact that it's like it's the status quo says you're supposed to be a gangster. So like I get thrusted into gangster situations by people. You feel me? So it's like I don't like that. And so I realized that it's like that's the problem. And I can't change that because that's what sustained me more than I even before I even thought it. Maybe you never know. I could have been, you know, I used to party a lot. And it's like, I would not just party, but just like, you know, just go out in the world. But I probably can go out walking at midnight and not be afraid because I'm a big black guy. So nobody's gonna mess with me. But I never knew that. That's what was going on. I just walk outside and nobody mess with me. So you know what I'm saying? So it's like I'm realizing now that like spirituality in so many words is just not gonna like save you at all. You know? And sometimes you are who you are in this world, you know, and it's just you can't do nothing about it. I think the only thing you can really do is when you have the opportunity, right? When you're in a good position in life, you have potential and you see you have an opportunity to take that potential. So in other words, like, you know, I'm just saying this because I feel, you know, I saw this trans woman the other day. I didn't know she was trans, but that's the point. It's like, but how? That's why I asked myself, like, it's because of positioning. You know, when you see other trans women, just let's be honest, they look like men. You know, and a lot of people they get killed and shit. You know, you hear in the news all the time and shit. So it's like it's because of the fact that you know she probably had the money, come from a nice family, things like that, or whatever. You know, she had the money, to have the support. That's number one. Number two, So you have the body. All you need is probably, like some hormones and a little bit of like not even surgeries really. So you can just you can act girly or whatever, you know what I'm saying? And people are gonna think something that she's a girl, more or less, because of her size, her face, small features, and like petite, like womanly features. I don't know how to explain that. And then that you had the opportunity. So what I'm saying, she transitioned, I guess, and so it made me realize like that's probably why it happens. You know, you know, like you see a lot of like black guys like me. My best friend, like one of my best friends, like we stopped talking a long time ago, and I just saw on Facebook that like he's married now and shit, and like, and we had the dreads, like what I'm saying, and we were all, it's just crazy to see like, oh wow, like he's married now, has his house, married, like his life is going good. I mean, you're like, I kind of jealous, but I started realizing, he went to the army, so that's what it was. He had all types of dreams. He wanted to be a rapper. He wanted to fucking do this and do that, and now he's like came from the military type shit. And it's like, man, it just made me realize like that's what I'm saying. It's like he had support. You know what I'm saying? He had the positioning. He's a a man. I ain't gonna lie, even if he's a black man, so he looks more masculine by society. So that helped him probably get into the military. So he had support from the military, and then he had the opportunity of the military. Or maybe he had support from his parents or a friend. And I think he had a friend because I seen his old roommate in his wedding pictures, and I was like, oh shit. So like he probably had support. You know, he probably had support, and so that's what I'm saying. Like he probably had support from family or friends, and he had him, and then he had the opportunity, and that's the only way you're gonna like do anything in this world. It's not gonna be. You can't get spiritual or divine intervention in any way. Not you can't even ask the gods or ask the spirit, like what is gonna become of me, type shit. In the hopes that okay, maybe this time they'll tell me like I'll find my new love, or I'll find like a good job, or I'll find wealth. Like all that's fake. It's just to help you, give you a heads up on things that are gonna be in your way, things that might hinder you, waste your time. You know, and it's hard to know like come to terms with that. When you have a mindset of never giving up and trying to like do your best, and work hard. You know, make sure no rock is unturned. When you're looking for your wealth in life, you know, your purpose in life, you know. But in reality, some things will waste your time because it's just not going to happen. You know, the support is not going to support you. You know what I'm saying? The physical human being you are, whether you're a man, woman, big or tall, type thing, and doing what you are trying to do, whatever that may be, And so that's why it's like you hit a lot of roadblocks. At least me specifically, you know what I'm saying? I had a lot of roadblocks. It's because of things like that. And that's what I realize now. It's like that's why my life has been so complicated. You know, that's why I had to cut my locks off because it was like the dreadlocks just made everybody around me think that I was this way because it affected the physical me, my aesthetic. And so, therefore, the support was not going to support that because that has no opportunities because nobody was going to give me an opportunity looking like that. And that's what makes that shit so sad because I feel like it has nothing to do with my work, but that's what I'm saying. Because that has nothing to do with real life nature. The fact that I'm intelligent and I'm physically able. You know what I'm saying? I'm willing. That has nothing to do with that. But in reality, what I'm saying? That's the reality of it. But when it comes to the social network, that's the problem. See what I'm saying? But because humans have conquered the world, the whole world now is a human social network. And humans really, like I said, only care about themselves because that's the way nature works. So if we both work together to plow the land and reap all these fruits and vegetables from it, at the end of the day, nobody really cares to share because in reality, they want it all for themselves because that's how survival works. But they have to share. So they do because that's universal law. Because we both worked for it. So we both have to get from it. You see what I'm saying? That's why little kids steal from grocery stores. It's like, it's just on the shelf. That's the reality of it. But at the same time, that's not theirs. So they don't have to fight for it. So that's why you have to steal it. You can't just take it and open and eat it. You have to steal things because people are gonna know. See what I'm saying? So this is what everything I'm just noticing if I put it out there. You know, because I just realized you can't use spirituality to better your life, and anybody's telling you that's a liar. I do not listen to that. Only you can go to spirituality to hear about the ops, to hear about who's going to be in your way, what's going to be a burden. That's the only thing I can tell you, because those ops are two-dimensional beings, lower dimensional beings. It's the whole thought process of hell, but there's a higher level of beings. You know.
Do you know where the remote is in the living room?
It's on the table.
So stupid. No, it's not.
I don't know then.
Huh?
I don't know. So that's how that is.